If you are looking into buying cheap and safe FIFA coins, look no further than footcoinshop.net. They have the fastest service, an incredible loyalty reward system, and the best prices around. Use my creator code Inception when you sign up for your account and get a 5% discount with your order. Hey guys, what's going on? Inception here, and welcome to another video. Ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to be talking about the new Thunderstruck upgrades. We were going to do the review, guys, but you have to understand, when it's a fullback, it's really boring. The only reason why I got Thierry Correa as a review is because he was in my RTG account. If I did an RTG episode today, maybe I would have done it, but it's a fullback, you know, like, and the card before was not that interesting. Sinclair, I definitely could have done one for, but yeah, this week for SBCs, it wasn't that interesting, but it's fine because today we have like 3 different videos anyways. We have this discussion for the new Thunderstruck upgrades. We have the gameplay patch discussion video, and then we also have a post-patch tactic video to review as well. So very important for the main stuff that we have today. And then I think tomorrow we'll have like a Road to Glory episode, and then I think the icon packs too, but we'll see what they end up doing. So for today, guys, we're gonna go ahead and check out the Thunderstruck upgrades. We have basically all of them over here, and then we have the fact that EA did change what they initially did in the game because some of the upgrades were pretty much broken, right? So we'll be talking about some of the cards that did end up getting some new playstyles. So the first one is going to be Neymar getting the upgrades with the 2 new playstyles, right? He's gonna get Tiki Taka and Chip Shot. I'll tell you guys this right now. I don't know if you guys have watched the review for this Neymar card. He is genuinely one of the best players I've used this year. I'd be very, very highly surprised if pro players did not like this card, right? Because pro players, obviously they try to search for like the top tier meta in the game. This card is genuinely good at doing everything. The dribbling, the attacking AI, the shooting, the passing. Like, this card basically allows you to move on the pitch a certain way that's just fantastic to work with, right? And now that he has those playstyles, they're very helpful, man. Tiki Taka is an underrated playstyle. It's a playstyle that I like a lot. It allows me personally to play a certain way that I really want. And it's basically to execute difficult first-time ground passes with high accuracy using back heels when contextually appropriate. Short distance ground passes are highly accurate. So that type of stuff, guys, is incredibly helpful to work with when it comes to the build-up, because there's so many different situations where you need to be able to break out of the defensive pressure as quickly as possible, and now you can do that with the Tiki Taka. So Tiki Taka is fantastic to have. And then obviously Chip Shot, it just allows you to do more consistent ones. They're not like a huge way of scoring in the game, but a regular chip shot is definitely a huge plus. This one is really big for Vinicius Jr. Relentless and Tiki Taka for Vinicius Jr. I actually like Vinicius Jr. this year. I think his card as a Thunderstruck is obviously fantastic. 5-star skills, 4-star weak foot. But the big thing for me is the fact that this card is 5'9", high medium work rates, right? From the rare gold version, this card was a high work rated card, but now for the Thunderstruck, they actually ended up changing that work rate, which, gotta be honest with you guys, is not a horrible thing. I like the high a lot, but the high medium is not a horrible thing, as long as it's not a high low, because high low, it's a little bit too linear when it comes to the way that they play on the pitch. But Vinicius Jr. with the upgrades, I mean, this card looks absolutely brilliant, right? It's a card that, I mean, you probably give him like a marksman, maybe? It's tough to say what you would actually give this card. Honestly, I wouldn't put it past people to actually give him a sniper as well, just for like the shooting boost as well as the physical boost. Like, it really depends on the person, right? But obviously he looks really well formatted. Marksman, Deadeye is not a bad one either, actually, to boost the passing as well as the shooting. I think this one actually might make the most sense, because with Vinicius Jr.'s dribbling, you don't mind it as much, right? With the way that he currently performs in the game. So obviously a card like this in the side position is really nice, but I mean, take a look at all those play styles that he has, right? Play styles being the biggest thing in this game for the new gen version. All of this is obviously going to be very noticeable in game, especially with those 2 new play styles. Joelinton, guys, Joelinton's actually very nice, man. You know, honestly, if I was like really grinding out the Road to Glory stuff for the first owner during that time period, like, I wish the gameplay was different during that time period, but if I was really grinding it out, this would have been a really cool card to pack, because honestly, he actually plays really well in the CDM position if you're lined up in like a 4-2-3-1, and he's that guy that just plays next to the other CDM that's like the medium high work rated player, because this card on a Shadow Chemistry style is a mostly lengthy player with a pace boost, defensive boost, but then play styles in game, he has block, he has bruiser, he has technical, he has relentless. These are all really huge pluses to work with. in the general midfield areas, right? So definitely a very solid card for a very cheap price, you know. Like, honestly, I would have done a review for him if again, if the gameplay situation was a little bit different. The likes are definitely very well warranted, because when I packed him and used him in the game, he was actually very solid. And you know what, for a card like this that can play as a stay back, cover center mid, or again playing in that CDM position, it's definitely a W. It has good position changes too. Like, the left wing is actually helpful depending on how you actually want to line up your team in game, right? So some good stuff there. Gabriel Jesus, Trivela, as well as the power shot, right? So Gabriel Jesus is going to look like this in game, right? So Gabriel Jesus Thunderstruck is a card that's 252k. He looks like he's formatted for the Hawk or the Hunter. I think most people would probably give him the Hunter just because they want that pace boost to be as high as possible. But high work rates, 4-star, 3-star. Now with the Trivela and Power Shot. Power Shot, I don't really care as much about, but Trivela I definitely do a little bit more, because with this card in game, I would probably line him up in the right attacking mid position. I'm going to be honest with you, man. Right attacking mid, right wing area, because his pace is not like super up there in regards to sprint speed. He obviously has some pretty solid traits to work with, no running ones, right? So I feel like your build-up play with him would have to be in like that 4-2-3-1 right attacking mid area. The Trivela is a huge plus, because you kind of do those ball rolls into the Trivelas in the right-sided areas, and you could potentially score some opportunities that way, especially with the current meta, right? Because people are definitely going to play a little bit more defensively now, right, after the patch. Lukaku is the next one. You know what? I never actually tried out this card, but I've actually heard some very, very good things about him as a physical type striker. Now, he's obviously very cheap at 32.5k, but I've seen a few people say that they like using this card a lot. Now, for me personally, I don't really like using physical type strikers all that often if they don't dribble the ball that well. He has 83 dribbling, but his agility and balance is on the very, very low side. So I guess it depends on the type of tactics that you end up using. Obviously, with a chip shot and a Trivela being added to the card, it is definitely a W to work with, because he does have very good traits to work with. He's got aerial, finesse shot, you know, jumping at a 99 with a 92 for heading accuracy while working with power header, like for physical engagements in the air, obviously can be very nice too. And at the end of the day, it's a left-footed card that you would use in the left striker position if you're playing like a 4-4-2 or something, getting behind, something like that. He would definitely be very solid because he's a lengthy player by default, so probably a card you give a Hunter chemistry style to make his pace as high as possible while making his shooting very nice to work with for people that don't really care too much about the skill moves, right? So yeah, definitely some really cool stuff there. Umtiti has received an upgrade. I'm gonna wait for Umtiti to receive more, because it's interesting with him, guys, because he has a lot of play styles to work with, but I still prefer to use someone like Saliba over him, even though this card, even though this card has like really good play styles. Like, I'm kind of hoping for maybe one or two more, you know, especially with like the inform and stuff. Like, this card's going to receive the play style one, right, with the power header and the block. He actually might be a little bit better now, because now he has jockey, block, and anticipate with bruiser. So this upgrade could be a really big deal, especially if you are working with like the League One links. Like in his case, with him being French, it is helpful for me personally, right? So yeah, definitely kept him in the team just in case I need to switch some things around in the future, because I want to use like different squads if we actually continue that road to glory stuff. So obviously some pretty good stuff there. Power header, block, really good play styles for a defensive player while being a controlled lengthy player on that shadow. So definitely a very huge W there. Dalglish has received a dead ball playstyle. Excuse me. Dalglish is actually very nice in this game. So obviously with the Thunderstruck version of his card, which is this one right here, you know, he's received the upgrade. Dead ball is definitely very nice in case you want to, you know, line him up in a way where he's being played in a position where he could potentially score a free kick or something. This Dalglish card is definitely very nice. It was really, really expensive. If you can somehow get the card, he's still going to be very solid to work with because of the 5-star weak foot and stuff. 5-star weak foot being one of the biggest variables, obviously. But yeah, Dalglish this year is actually very solid. I like him a lot. Figo is actually pretty decent too. And with excuse me, with this card, he has technical plus, I still think. Yeah, he still has technical plus. Figo in this year's game is significantly better than he has been in previous years, right? And it's because of the playstyles. Playstyles is definitely added to these cards. Now he's got the first touch to work with. So it's very helpful for the agility and balance being on the lower side for this card, especially since I think for most people, they should give him a finisher, even though the pace is going to be on the lower side. You definitely want to improve the shooting to be as high as possible. But maybe in the future, if he gets certain improvements on the card and you can give him an engine chemistry style to make his dribbling a little bit more responsive, that could be pretty decent too. But as of right now, it does feel like the type of card that you have to sacrifice one area to make the other area better. But as I've said, Figo does feel a little bit better this year. You can actually do work with this card if you end up using him in your team. Ronaldinho, not really much to say about Ronaldinho. What was that that you said? Long ball pass? Yeah, long ball pass is a huge W for him. Ronaldinho this year is obviously fantastic. Just an absolutely brilliant card. And that's just from the card before. So this card being 10.5 million coins is not a surprise whatsoever. Like, I would automatically assume that he's going to be an absolute monster in game for how he will generally perform, for sure. He just looks like the type of card that would be an absolute monster to work with. But yeah, Hawk chemistry style, Hunter, do whatever you want. Honestly, this card's going to be a beast. Play styles wise, he has long ball pass now, but I mean, look at all the crazy play styles this card has already received, right? Some really, really nuts things. Sorry guys, moving on. We're doing like 2 different videos right now, that's why. So yeah, Perez is the next one with the whipped pass. Honestly, whipped pass is a W. Whipped pass is a W because this that playstyle is actually pretty effective to work with, especially when you have the plus version of it. But in his case, he already has finesse shot plus, so he's chilling on the playstyles, that's for sure. He's definitely chilling on that. But yeah, this card on an engine chemistry style can be improved in the pace and dribbling department, as well as the passing, but then the shooting would be lower. So it's a card you'd probably have to give him a Hunter chemistry style or a finisher, right? You give him either or. It's poorly formatted, the Perez card. It definitely is poorly formatted. Definitely needs some improvements because as of right now, you probably have to give him a Hunter in regards to usability in game, right? But yeah, the play styles, working with some pretty decent stuff. Nothing too crazy though, right? Perez is definitely more of those players to pack on the lower side for the most part. Okay, so in this tweet, he says, I think EA forgot to give Kenyon Lee and Loftus-Cheek the second playstyle, right? So you can see that he has Loftus-Cheek on the long ball pass. By the way, for the RTG episode, we missed this card by 1 game because I had to finish the Griezmann review. But I did that at the very end, so, you know, the vibes there. But yeah, Ruben got whipped pass and long ball. So honestly, that's actually pretty good too. So let's take a look at how this card is now from the Starstruck upgrade, right? So from this card, on a shadow chemistry style, boosting the pace, boosting the defense, 6'3", high medium work rates. He looks really well formatted for the most part, right? Shadow chemistry style, working with some very good passing traits. Like, he definitely looks like the type of card that is played in a 4-3-2-1, 4-1-2-2 formation for the most part, because he's a mostly lengthy player on a shadow chemistry style. And as a gameplay objective, honestly, it's a W to work with, I would say. Definitely a W to work with. The play styles are definitely very nice. And then Kenyon Lee is the last one who has the incisive pass. I think Kenyon Lee is still an SBC right now, if I'm not mistaken. I might actually have to pick him up for the RTG accounts too, but we'll see what the vibes are there, because he's an 82 and 83 rated squad, and you basically just had to get an inform as a first owner somehow to basically unlock the card, right? But with Kenyon Lee, the upgrades, he's gonna be a Hunter chemistry style player for sure. You know, you want to boost the pace, you want to boost the shooting as much as possible. But with this card in game, he now has dead ball, incisive pass, long ball, technical flair, and first touch to work with. So honestly, he has some pretty good stuff. Obviously, Thunderstruck promo was definitely a very, very solid promo. This promo was cool too, but mostly for the markets players. The SBCs, like, this card's actually not bad as a right back for the links and stuff. That's not like too terrible, but for the most part, the SBCs for those bad boys haven't been too good. I haven't even reviewed them because they're kind of like whatever for the most part. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video today. I'll catch you guys for the next one. Peace out, dudes. Love you guys.